Happy Devils Saturday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast post-game. I'm your host, Sleepy Sam Woo.
Sleepy Sam Woo.
I just woke up to reality with Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal, streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Devils get their butts kicked in 5-1 against the playoff-bound Islanders. Surprise, surprise. Scotty, let's go over the unhappy Devils recap.
Well, yeah, this game kind of sucked. You know, there's really not much to say about it. We only had one goal today. Andre Johnson, future Seattle Kraken, Andre Johnson, got his fifth. Tennyson, his second assist. McLeod, his sixth. But, Brock Nelson ended up getting 2 goals. He had a power play goal. Barzell got a goal at the end. Palmieri got a goal. He ran Blackwood a couple times. Now you see what it looks like. It's been different when Palmieri's been on our team for the past, 5-6 years. But now you see what he does and why other teams were so annoyed with him a lot of times. And then he pushed Kevin Ball into Mackenzie Blackwood at the end of the game. Kevin Ball, what's going on? What's up, big man? Drop. You're 6'7", dude. Drop those dudes. They're trying to challenge you. Friggin' drop them. I know you're a rookie. Whatever. Next time, I don't know. Maybe it's the end of the game, end of the season, whatever. You don't want to risk anything, whatever. But you could see that game was getting a little chippy there at the end. Basically, after Kyle ran Mackenzie. So, yeah, not a good game for the Devils. Islanders kicked it up a notch. Barry Trotz was probably like, hey, guys, Lou Lamoriello's the GM. We've lost 6 of 8. I don't want to get fired 2 games before the playoffs start. Can you please go out there and beat the Devils? Please, for the love of all things hockey, just please beat one of the worst teams in the league right now, okay? Please. And, the Islanders responded. They played a lot better. They definitely they took it to us this game. So 3 stars of the game was Nelson, Komarov, Barzal. We didn't have any. Shots on goal 4, 7, 13 in the third. For a total of 24. That's right, 4 shots in the first period, 7 in the second. The Islanders 12, 11, 4. They just kind of shut it down. They were scoring at will there in the third period, but they obviously had the game in hand and. We were kind of waving the white flag, I feel like, for a total of 27. Face-offs, slight edge, 54% to 45%. Playoffs. Power play, they were 1 for 3. We were 0 for 2. Hits, pretty even. I like that. 23 to 25. 22 blocks again. That is the one statistic out of this that we can really say is still a positive. The defense is getting in those lanes, try to take away those shooting alleys, and they're doing a good job blocking shots. So good job there. Everywhere else, not so much, but, good job over there. 12 giveaways. That leads to a 5-1 loss. Second to last game of the season. Was a little interesting there at the end. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but someone on the Islanders was challenging Ball basically, and I don't know. He did not. I was actually getting excited to see him, drop the gloves and I'm like, dude, yeah, monster man, let's go. Let's see it. So, and then when Palmieri just pushed him at the end of the scrum into Blackwood, I don't know. I was like, what's going on?
Whoa.
But
yeah, it's like, why couldn't you do that when you were playing for us, Kyle Palmieri?
Well, he's only scored twice since he's been traded to the Islanders, so it's pretty much been to quote a man named Lamoriello, it's been status quo with Kyle Palmieri.
They were afraid of the jelly being on the wall. That's what it was.
Yeah, stinker of a game, man. Just last one. second to last one. But yeah, I'm sure the Islanders were hot to come out. They have lost 6 of 8. They need a little something before the playoffs start here. And especially everything that's been going on, Tom Wilson actually took a knee on knee. And, not to bring that up, but it's just Washington now has a lot of injuries going on, some serious injuries. Tom, whatever with the fights and stuff, but he's a dude that can actually score, and put some big goals home. And, missing him and Ovi, Capitals are looking wow, might be in some trouble here. The Pens are starting to get a little hot, but the Islanders cooling off like that, they could have jumped. Boston is leapfrogged them. They could have been up a lot higher, trying to probably get that top seed. But they've been on this skid. Sorry, Winston. So they've been on this skid, and they had to come out hot today. I bet you. Barry Trotz. You saw Lou, looking over, Alfred Hitchcock, in the corner, just staring over his movie. Lou is just there, just 2 games left. I think I could take over now,
Well, you know what?
Did someone shoot a puck? Did John Madden shoot a puck at Barry Trotz or something? What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, you remember that? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that was funny.
Man, lame game. Devils are obviously not in it. Got to start thinking about next year. We got one more left, obviously, against the Flyers. So we just had some good success. Makeup game in Philly. We just had some success against the Flyers. So maybe we can go out with a nice victory on this season, keep building. It was funny. One thing I was thinking of was, with Kevin Ball, how he's just kind of been sort of since he's come up. I cannot see him going back down again. I want to see more of that poke check though, and I want to see. He was starting to get a little physical, but I don't know. Whatever reason, it did look like he was getting challenged by a couple guys at the end there. So I don't know.
Well, he's a big dog. He's a big dog. He's going to
maybe he didn't want to hurt anybody. Yeah, no, but he's going to get challenged. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just, first time happening, rookie, NHL, a couple. So, whatever. But he's a big guy, and he's got to play big. He's got to play physical.
Yes.
Did see a couple big hits from him today, which I really liked. But I was also just thinking, there's no way this guy is coming out of the lineup. He is entrenched in there. Kevin Ball, Ty Smith, you're not, they're there. They're there. They've claimed their spots. What are we going to do? Obviously Damon Severson's going to come back unless there's some sort of massive trade. I don't think that's going to happen. So Damon Severson, PK will have for one more year. Do you bring Ryan Murray back? Do you bring Ryan Murray back? And then you have kind of one open position, or do you bring back Butcher, who's also an RFA? You got a lot of questions now that you got to start thinking about for next year. All these prospects, the Riley Walshes, the Mohamedulins, the Vukujevics, the Hoyuks. You're going to have that spot there, for them to compete in an actual training camp next year. But Ball, Smith, Severson, PK, that's 4 right there. Do you bring Butcher back? Do you bring Murray back? Do you bring both back and let Connor Carrick walk? What are some of the moves that Tom Fitzgerald is thinking? And I love to hear everyone's thoughts on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Twitter Live, because this is stuff we got to start thinking about. Start thinking about some lines for next year. Alexander, I've talked endlessly how I'm excited to see a Zacha, Hischier, Holtz line. Does Dawson Mercer come up next year? Does Nolan Foote come up next year? Is that a third line? Maybe with Jesper Bratt? But now all of a sudden, look at how many guys. Say that just for hypothetical. Say you got a Nico, Zacha, Alexander Holtz top line. Then you got, let's just say for now, Kuokkanen, Sharangovich, Hughes. Just keep that together because it's been good. Then this just Mercer foot brat. Now you got like all these other guys. This is such a good position for us to be in, that we have so much depth. All this youth. Think about all those guys that we're going to be trying to fit in there. And don't forget, like, Fitzgerald's going to go out and get a couple veterans, like the Murrays. Obviously it didn't work out with Nikita Gusev, but he's going to go out and get a couple veteran guys to have in there on the team just to solidify it. If we trade them at the trade deadline, then we trade them at the trade deadline. But, thinking about Jesper Boquist, thinking about, Talavidi, thinking about Tice Thompson, Miles Wood, Michael McLeod, Nathan Bastian, all of a sudden starting to look pretty crowded when a couple of these guys come up, some of these big names.
Also, who do we lose to Seattle? That's to remain to be seen. Also, here's my question, Scotty, and this is going to be, I think they're going to be entrenched for next season, but was Lindy Ruff the right fit for this team? And Mark Recchi and Nasruddin as assistant coaches? Because honestly, when you have a stinker effort like tonight, I'm not so sure. By
the way, just real quick, each team must expose minimum players in expansion draft. 2 forwards under contract in 21-22, 1 defenseman, 1 goaltender under contract. They all have to be under contract with 27 games in 2021 or 54 games. Crap, it just kind of moved off the screen there. Or 54 games in probably the season prior, the last full season. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was just up on the screen there. I just wanted to say it real quick. Talking about the Seattle expansion draft.
Yeah, I mean, something's got to give. I mean, honestly, I'm still struggling to find anything positive about this season other than, look, it was a rough season. I think Jack Hughes has improved. I think Nico Hischier had a really rough season injury-wise, named captain of the team. But again, this kind of effort tonight is just, it goes back to, do we just regress a little bit? But it's to be expected. This is a playoff-bound team that's just tuning up right now.
Yeah.
And, but they need to put in a better effort to get better results. But it's just, again, it's kind of disheartening. They had a little thing going, but they do this every year in the last last 10 years. They finish kind of strong, and our hopes are up. And then they lay a stinker in the beginning of next season. But something's got to give because, honestly, again, I'm going to use that corporate term. This is unacceptable. 5-1.
They got trans today, but question for you. So who would you leave unprotected for the New Jersey Devils? Can't do that. Well, who would you protect? You got to protect 1 goalie, 3 defensemen, 7 forwards.
Oh, this is a good question. 1 goalie I would protect. Well, obviously it's Mackenzie Blackwood, right?
That's an easy one. Who are the 3 defensemen you would protect? This is the more tricky one.
Well, would Ty Smith qualify to be protected? What were the rules?
I don't think he's eligible to be, because he's a rookie. I don't think he's eligible.
To tell you the truth, I'll tell you what, I'd leave Severson out there.
You'd leave Damon Severson unprotected. Okay.
You know what? But when you look at PK, his salary, I don't know. Do you think that they would take him?
I don't know, but it's just an interesting idea. Who would you protect?
I mean, what's Severson's trade value right now if you do protect him? And say, what's overall?
I don't know,
value?
but if Severson was unprotected, I think Seattle would snatch him up. I think they would snatch him up for everything that we're frustrated by him. That would be great for an expansion team to have someone like that. I mean, he plays a lot of minutes. We get frustrated with him, but he's like they would snatch him up in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
good question.
It's just curious. Who would you leave unprotected? On the forward side, obviously, I've spoken that I feel like Andres Janssen would be left unprotected.
Will Butcher.
Oh, I gotta. What I know if Butcher qualifies for games played.
Yeah. Again, I don't have the stats in front of me.
I have to look at the stats. He probably does from the prior year, though. So, yeah. I mean, you got Butcher, you got PK, you got Damon Severson, Ryan Murray, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Siegenthaler now, right?
Yeah.
From Washington. I guess I don't know about Connor Carrick. I don't know if he qualifies with games played. Yeah.
I don't know. Or could a trade be made?
There is a lot of people talking about that trading with Seattle. It's.
I mean, didn't Vegas do a trade? I think.
Yes,
Vegas
they did.
A trade with the Penguins.
Yes, they did. They absolutely did.
Yeah,
100%. So they got to select someone from every team. I find it hard to believe that Fitzy wouldn't protect all the ones you're thinking about. Nico, Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes. It's going to get interesting down there in the bottom, though. With like Mikey McLeod and stuff like that. Does he leave him unprotected? Bratt, yes. Zaka, yes. Obviously, Nico, Jack, like we said. Miles Wood. You gonna. I mean, I don't think you leave him unprotected. I think he might be a great trade. Obviously, trade asset at some point. But yeah, I guess you leave like Nathan Bastian unprotected. If someone needs a big tough guy put out, out there. Andres Janssen.
That's why I put out Severson's name out there. Not because I hate Severson or whatever. They have to pick at least one player from each team, right?
Yes.
Would you sacrifice
Holkonen and Sharangovich you keep?
Yeah.
I think as well.
If you sacrifice Severson to save the rest of the ship, is it worth it?
I mean, not really, because they can't steal any of our young gun defensemen. Like, they have to be like, they can't take Ty Smith. They can't take like someone like Ty Smith. And there's something with the amount of years played or something like that. I don't know all the fine details in it, but they can't take Smith. They can't take Ball. They're not eligible, because
I just like all the forwards right now. I actually like all the forwards except for one guy. The guy that scored tonight.
Yeah, I mean, so it's gonna be interesting who Fitzy does decide to protect and who does he leave unprotected. That's where I'm curious if he's gonna do that with PK. That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
If he's gonna try and maybe deal PK, give Seattle, hey, a big superstar. Do you want PK? Leave him up. I don't know if you can leave. I think you can leave him unprotected. Yeah. Do they try and do that?
Yeah.
To get out of the contract? I don't know.
Devils Devils 1917 on YouTube Live says first and second year pros, all players who have accrued 2 or less professional seasons at the end of 2020-21 season, as well as all the unsigned draft choices appearing on the team's reserve list per cap friendly will be exempt.
There you go. Yeah. So all the young studs, they can't. Yeah, no, we can't get. But like a Sharon Govich, who's a little bit older and on the end of his RFA, and Kuokkanen, the exact same thing. They would be eligible. So, yeah, that's going to be big. We're going to see that. Do they? Like I said, that's what I was wondering, if they're going to try and get out of the PK contract there by leaving him unprotected, and see him Seattle tries to snatch up a superstar personality like PK, who will go in there and he could be a big media guy and do some fun stuff for the team, opening up, be good with fans, do a lot of those meet and greets, be able to host events. PK has that personality where he can do things like that. And if you're launching a new team in a city that is, as active and as big as Seattle, and sports hungry, they love their Seahawks. They love the, what's the soccer team? The Sounders. Oh man. These guys are sold out up there for that. So Seattle sports fans are very, very, devoted and
they're one of the loudest. Teams. That area, the Pacific Northwest, they are one of the loudest fans. If you go to a Washington Huskies game, college football, or even Washington State, the Cougars, those fans are loud. It sounds like it's 200,000 people there. If you remember the NFC Championship game, in Seattle, how loud that building was. It was very, very, very loud. I think the decibel level was in the one. I don't remember, but it was very high. Very high. I think in the 160s or something like that, and it's an outdoor building. So
right.
That tells you. And I can't wait to see the rivalry between the Canucks and the Kraken start to build.
Canucks and the Kraken. It's the stupidest. His name is so XFL, but whatever. If they like it, they like it. Good for them. But that'll be interesting to see what moves Fitzy has got up his sleeve with this expansion draft. I mean, he's been slick. He's made a lot of good deals, a lot of deals that people are like, I can't believe it when he did that. And then they think about it for a day and they be like, oh, okay. I see now. I get it. I get what's going on here. All right. So he's been very, very, it's like, he's almost like dry British humor. That's like Fitzgerald is. He's like GM of, he's like Monty Python. You got to get that dry British humor. That's all.
Also, the other thing too, and again, depending upon how the draft order plays out in this year's draft, Fitzy's holding the Islanders draft pick, first rounder. Could there be something, again, could be sometimes these GMs, they start to pull off these moves right before the expansion draft. Okay, we'll give you this, just don't take this. I think that's what they did the last expansion draft, so. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see. I think I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a surprise, something like that. I think like a PK might be left unprotected. Obviously they're going to protect Blackwood. I mean, that's an easy one right there. The forward seems kind of easy to see all the guys that they'll protect and the ones that they won't. So I think the defense is really going to say something.
Yeah.
Has Butcher played his way back? Like we said, we were talking last time. Has Butcher played his way back into the good graces of the coaching staff? It obviously seemed like he played his way out earlier in the year, but now, because of injuries and PK being down, he's been back in, and we've also noticed a lot more shot blocks with Will Butcher and obviously Nico as well. Is pretty good at blocking shots. But, these different defensemen play different styles. And, I wonder.
Yeah. And also, just remember, the Islanders are a very good team. I mean, just watching Barzal just skate around everybody and the speed and skill that they have. And I think Palmieri, in this game,
punch him in the face.
Pretty well. I thought he
punch him in the face. Don't be touching our goalie.
Yeah.
Don't be touching our goalie and being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Remember, I used to play with you. Oh, you shut it." Knock him down, big ball.
Well, I think Winston is knocking that toy down. You can hear him.
The old. He's got the old. Oh, now he's got the hedgehog. He's moved on from the ladybug to the hedgehog over there. So, all got squeakers though. Don't worry, they all make noise. It's It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Scotty. You hear the music?
One more game left, Sam Wu. One makeup game left. Game number 56 against the Flyers. We'll see how the boys do in the last game of the season. Hoping for a W.
You want to know something?
And no injuries.
Scotty? We've done 55 straight post games.
We have. Well,
you know what?
You have. I missed one or two along the way there. 3 or 4 or 5.
But what I buy
Thursdays are tough.
We,
what can I say?
What I mean by we, it's the entire
the
team.
Collective we. The collective we. Yes.
Yes, I try to be a team player, but we all know that I'm the superstar. But I don't take nights off, except for tonight where I fell asleep in the third period, and when I woke up, I'm like, oh crap! I hope Scotty was watching. And then once I
you didn't miss much, don't worry.
The final score 5-1. I was like, didn't miss anything. Only Andre Johnson scores. That's right.
Andre former Houston Texans wide receiver and now current New Jersey Devil, Andre Johnson scored tonight. Oh, my God. How did we ever get on that topic of just mispronouncing names? I
don't know. Actually, my wife asked me that. She asked me that, and I started laughing. I think
it was during. I think it was during that that really bad period there where they lost all those games in the. That was when Beer Baron had his rant, and then we had to bring him back, and then we just goofed off for the rest of the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tough times.
Well, we got our Sunday podcast, and then we got our Monday, our last Devils post game.
Thank you to everybody on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube Live who have been joining us after every single game as well. Big horns up to you.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
Yeah, it started on opening night, if you remember. We didn't really plan to do it, and then suddenly, after doing 2 or 3 in a row, we're like, hey, maybe we should start doing these. And it's because of you, the fans. You make it entertaining for us when we do these Let's Go Devils podcast post games right after the game. But maybe we'll have a better result Monday night against the Flyers. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Winston. Thank you all. Till next time.
Wait, Sam Wu. Sam Wu. Wait, we almost forgot. Happy late birthday to the greatest of all time, Martin Brodeur. And happy Mother's Day to all the hockey moms out there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And happy belated birthday to Erica Wachter. I think it's the day before Marty. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. We got that?
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go, Sambo.
Till next time, let's go Devils.